All right, welcome back to Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 248. Today on the show, we have SBA loans for babies and FHA loans for illegals in this week's Wasteful Spending section. Then we have racist diets and trans kidnappers in this week's Cringe of the Week. Then we have men punching women and food desert expansions in Urban Decay. And last but not least, you're not going to want to miss this week's ad read. That's all I'm going to say. All this and more, it's Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 248, ranked the best news podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleccas Talks, the podcast, featuring Richard Grabboy.
If you're on the go and you're working hard, we know just how you feel. You need a snack that'll fill you up, but no time to make a meal. So pick up some Farmer Bill's provisions made in the USA. It'll give you taste buds a giddy up and you'll be on your way. Farmer Bill's Provisions. Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right, thank you to Farmer Bill's for sponsoring.
Thank you, Farmer Bill. And honestly, Farmer Bill should be thanking you for that.
Hey, I'll do anything for Farmer Bill. And that is my first music video? No, we've done music videos before.
Have we?
The Christmas special, Morgan Wallen Christmas special.
Oh, yeah.
We've done music videos before.
Okay.
But hey, Farmer Bill has a request. Farmer Bill gets what he wants.
There you go.
Make sure you guys use the code in the description, Fleccas15, 15% off. You know what to do.
There you go.
Load up. All right, happy Friday, Richard. We made it through another week.
Thank you. It was easy. We do it every time.
Yeah, where you keep showing up. We're still in the chair.
Yeah.
Another episode coming up. It's going to be a Friday chiller one compared to Tuesday, as it always is. Should we jump right into it?
I don't know. You have anything stupid to say?
Not really.
Okay.
I think we can get right into it. We have a pretty packed show as usual. All right, our first story. Richard, can you give that a read?
Some white people may choose the yellow thumbs up emoji because it feels neutral. But some academics argue opting out of the white thumbs up emoji signals a lack of awareness about white privilege, akin to society associating whiteness with being raceless.
Some academics argue.
Yeah.
And they actually had 3 people write this article. And it's NPR, which is funded by our tax dollars.
National Public Radio.
Elon, hello.
Which I think we've covered before, too, how every single NPR employee donates to Democrat causes. It was like some astronomical number. So this is what the brainiacs at NPR are doing. They're talking to academics about the white versus yellow emoji.
Wow.
Which I've never even thought about once.
I use the pure white thumbs up emoji a lot.
So you're acknowledging your privilege then, according to NPR.
I guess.
So you're aware of your whiteness.
Well, tell me where this falls in that way of thinking. I use the pure whitest one, even though I could probably use the second one down that's a little more tan, because I feel like the pure whitest one's the best one.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think if they polled everybody, they'd say, yeah, that's the best one.
And keep in mind, just to reframe this whole issue, don't forget white people are only 7% of the global population.
Yeah.
So when you have like these minority conversations, white people are actually the minority as well.
Yeah, we're the minority who just happen to have all the sickest countries that everyone else is clamoring to get into.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a burden and a curse, but we are technically a global minority.
It's called burden and a curse. You nailed it. All right, our next headline, ninja swords to finally be banned in the UK from this summer.
Yeah, and they provide an Amazon link to all the machete-type ninja swords. Does the UK have a ninja problem?
I didn't realize there was a ninja problem.
The Shogun, the Japanese from 1850s who died out, are they all in the UK now? I didn't know.
Well, if you go back to the emoji way of thinking, there might be a ninja problem in the UK.
Yeah, ninja.
Depending
that
on
emoji means something different than the ninja, the traditional ninja.
Exactly. In the urban world, that ninja emoji means something very different. All right, our last quick headline. Can you give that a read?
2 white teens arrested for hate-filled group attack on black boy 16 inside NYC subway station.
So it's obviously a sad story, but it's also sad to see that the euphemism guy took the day off, I guess.
Yeah, the New York Post can finally acknowledge race now. Did something change? Was something different?
And as you guys know, we've covered this before. There's a million different ways to refer to suspects when they're black.
Yeah.
Can you give a few a read? I think you put them together.
Knife-wielding sicko, failed asylum seeker, community activists, snazzily dressed man, spring break partiers, baby-faced teens, 5 Florida juveniles. Those are, you guys get the point. You know what
The euphemism guy was off, but I'm sure he'll be back very soon when work picks back up. Yeah. All right, our next story, Trump signed an executive order on voter integrity. Can you give that a read?
Yeah, Trump signed sweeping new elections order, which requires proof of citizenship on state voter registration forms and no more counting ballots received after Election Day.
So that would be very nice, obviously. And if that actually went through, we'd probably never lose another election again. Mm-hmm. But you know how it goes. There's probably going to be some district judge who goes, actually, no.
Yeah, and he was born in Guatemala, and he's going against the president. But I also don't know the legalities of this. This is like constitutional shit that's being written in an executive order. Some of these executive orders are more like, this is how the world should be. Mm-hmm. And then it gets challenged and nothing really happens and states sue. So I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. I guess it's a good sign, but I'm not enough of a constitutional scholar to make an accurate assessment of how much this holds up.
That's where I come in.
Yeah. Constitutional scholar attacks 3 in New York subway. That's what it would be in the New York Post.
And like you said, a district judge will probably shut this down in the courts, and then
I think you said that.
And then you look at who our district judges are. We actually found this article. Can you give that a read?
Yeah, 1/3 of all D.C. district judges were not born in the United States.
So it's an uphill battle.
D.C. district judges, 1/3 of them, and it's like random countries. And then, I mean, they're directly going against the president of the United States. So, and they've been jokingly referring to some of these guys as like, oh, you're the commander of the military now, Judge Boasberg. Mm-hmm. And so, we have all these rules about who can lead our country just to get kind of like stopgapped by a random judge, and then it takes months to get to the Supreme Court. So,
can you imagine going to another country and then becoming a judge and then getting the outfit and doing that as your job and then like being a judge in a different country? That wouldn't sit right with me. I wouldn't feel like I had the right to do that.
I know. I couldn't even believe I could sign up. This is amazing. Yeah, I'm doing whatever I want now.
All right, let's get into our DOGE section. It's a light DOGE section, nothing crazy. Elon found some more fraud when it comes to SBA loans.
Well, a clear case of fraud was with the Small Business Administration, where they were handing out loans, $330 million worth of loans to people under the age of 11. I think the youngest, Kelly, was a 9-month-old who got a $100,000 loan. That's a very precocious baby we're talking about here.
$330 million given out in loans to people less than 11 years old.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just the easiest ones to find. So there's a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14, there's 18-year-olds who don't know that someone took an SBA loan.
And then you get the actual fraudulent loans for Hellcat LLC and Free Money LLC of people who are normal age and just also committing fraud.
Yeah. PPP, EBT, FHA, SBA, the acronyms are getting scammed, baby. And they're costing us trillions probably a year in carry. But SBA loans too, like this is like a common theme where if you have like a shitty drug addicted mom and you grew up in a single family household and then you turn 18 and you're looking to get your first apartment and finally get your way out, and then you find out you have like $18,000 in credit card debt that was opened over the course of your childhood. This is kind of the same thing that's been happening with SBA loans. And the government, Visa or MasterCard or whoever, these credit card companies, Citibank, Chase, they're like, okay, we found it. Yep, we got to reverse it. Okay, charges pending. The government probably lets this shit go on for years.
Forever.
Nobody looks at it. And that's why we need Elon so much, because it's like we're finally looking under. And it should be pretty easy. It's like, okay, who's the 9-month-old who got the loan? Okay, that baby. And then who got $100,000 in their bank account in his family? It's extremely easy to pull that thread and prosecute these parents. So I hope that's kind of the next leg instead of just canceling and
arrest the baby.
Setting up rules. Yeah, arresting the baby.
All right, like you said, all the acronym organizations are riddled with fraud. We have some FHA news. Can you give that headline a read?
Yeah, the Housing and Urban Development Secretary, Scott Turner, says he terminated Biden's taxpayer-funded FHA mortgage program for illegal aliens.
Great.
I didn't even know that happened.
Very happy to hear that, but I do have some questions.
Well, and I think we had covered this before in the case of California or certain states, leftist states that were trying to do it. I didn't realize there was any ability, because the FHA is obviously federal. I didn't realize there was any ability to do it. And I think there was a little caveat loophole for non-resident or non-citizen permanent residents. And I think maybe some illegals got in. It's unclear how many people actually were able to get one as a non-citizen, but I guess it's just shutting it down anyway, right?
Non-citizen permanent resident. That kind of gives you away.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're here illegally.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. We also saw this clip where Democrats were talking about the climate bills that were going to pass if Kamala Harris had won. Listen to the dollar amount that they were planning on passing.
Here that there were going to be two separate bills, and we had already had those conversations, but when it was clear, remember, the investment kept going down, down, down. And we were like, no, because we need this investment. We need, like you said, the money. That was more money for lead pipes than what we had.
I think it was 3.9 trillion. Did it start at 3.9 and go down, or did it?
We were at, I thought we were at 10, and then it went down to 6, and then down to 3, then it went down to 1.7, I believe.
So it was a $10 trillion climate change bill. $10 trillion.
Being discussed by these barely literate Congress members.
And so they were really planning on taking all the power and all the money. And obviously Trump stopped that, but $10 trillion.
And that's Jamal Bowman and Corey Bush, who have a new podcast called like Jamal and Corey, which sounds like a 90s Disney sitcom. And he was the guy who pulled that fire alarm in the building. Remember how stupid this guy is?
Yeah.
And he lost. He's out. She's still in. But $10 trillion they wanted to suck out.
Yeah. Oh, it was too much CO2. The trees eat it.
Yeah.
Live next to a tree. You'll be fine. All right, let's get to our next story, our last part of the wasteful spending section. This is from the UK, so it's not underneath the DOGE umbrella. But basically, there is a Reddit post where a doctor talks about his patients making more money than him from benefits.
Yeah. Just learning one of my patients with ASD and CPTSD earns more than I do, including full PIP, housing payment, UC. This patient, who seems very well adjusted and capable, gets 3,500 pounds a month, which obviously isn't taxed. That's the equivalent of a tax job that pays 55,000 pounds. Where's the incentive for some of these patients to go out and find a job?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you work when you can just do that?
And the whole thread is like other doctors chiming in. And I think doctors get paid like horribly low in the UK. Like Americans kind of take our wages for granted. Europe is just lowballing people out there. But then also giving, the unable to work or whatever, and not to mention migrants, giving them resources to live. And this is like an epidemic across the West. EBT and Section 8, which we've talked about on American soil, where it's like, well, I don't want to get a job and hit that income level where I'd get kicked off of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, something's got to give. The more people become aware of this, the more sickened they are. But that New World Order, like Klaus Schwab level thing where we give everyone just enough, where they won't fight back and they won't do anything. Why be a doctor?
Yeah.
Why work hard?
Exactly. And then the quality of doctors will go down, and then they'll probably be using AI to replace them. And then all the migrants in the UK are probably going to be qualifying more and more for benefits, so they don't need to work. And then you kind of live in this mixed match country where you have the poorest people getting all the free stuff, and then why would the normal citizens want to work to keep that society afloat?
And I saw a story recently. We have our own migrant section, but it was this guy who had like 3 wives, like an Afghani type, who had multiple wives, and then they're married under their religious law, where he has multiple wives, but they don't get married in UK law, so that each of the wives can keep receiving benefits, and then it all funnels up to him like some sort of Afghan kingpin living in the West.
It's called multiple streams of income.
Yeah, that's a good hustle. And
passive income.
SBA loan for a baby, EBT, a couple wives. All of a sudden, you're a kingpin, and you never worked a day.
Hey, tempting.
Yeah.
Very tempting. All right, let's get to our Snow White update section. We covered this on Tuesday, but there has been some new news that has come out. Most importantly, in my opinion, Snow White is the worst movie in IMDb history.
1.7. It's gotten all the way down to 1.7 out of 10.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, and it's a dog pile. People come in.
But still.
People who haven't seen the movie, I mean,
Worse than Sharknado 2, worse than Geely.
That's hard to do.
And a $280 million budget, worse than Geely.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
You're right.
And then the producer's son, one of the producer's sons was pretty mad about Rachel Ziegler and how she's been talking to the press and getting political and being just not likable in general.
Ruining the launch of the movie.
Ruining the movie, exactly. And then can you read what he commented on Instagram?
Yeah, well, someone said, your dad flew to New York to reprimand a young actress. Any words on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. Blah, blah, blah. And then he says, you really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie, for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged.
That's a good point. But I think they're kind of blaming the girl for the bad launch.
Yeah.
When you could have just had Sydney Sweeney be Snow White, and you would have made $1 billion in the first month.
Yeah, it would have printed money.
Would have printed. Everyone would have gone and seen it. So, like, the whole thing in general was like a woke rendition of it, and that's why it failed. And then that's just part of it, like the girl's stupid political beliefs and her feminist shit too. But it was destined to fail.
She didn't change the plot, right?
Yeah, it was destined to fail.
She didn't make it so there was no prince or whatever we said last week, right? And then this is another little piece. Remember the point we made last week about how old Hollywood used to have producers and fixers and people who were really like henchmen to make sure nothing could get in the way of a movie's release? This guy flies to New York to reprimand her when? The movie just came out. There was like a 9-month lead-up press tour where she was insufferable on Instagram, posting videos, doing red carpet interviews at other movies. And so I guess there still is that producer, Hollywood fixer type, but they're just ineffectual and way too late. And like asleep at the wheel or something. And
if it was the old school Hollywood days, they would never have obviously casted her in the first place. They would have just been like, let's just do normal. Let's do what the people want.
Yeah. Harvey Weinstein. Everybody jokes about him. He did some bad stuff, but there were some 10 out of 10s cast in his movies.
He knew how to make a movie.
I know.
We have a clip from Rachel Ziegler. This is how she talks to people online.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
That overly emotional voice.
That cadence, the self-importance, the acting.
The right better there. To manipulate you with, my pretty.
Yeah,
that
crazy.
Voice. You can see her break, too. She's like doing acting. That's just her on social media. Yeah. And she looks like she's reading a script. It was very overly emotional and mouthy. Mm-hmm. But that's what we're dealing with here. This person's like a psychopath. You can kind of see it, or maybe a narcissist. There's something cooking in her brain that ain't right.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the end, right? She'll never be in a top. She's got to work her way back, starting from zero now, and be a little humble. But I saw somebody call it Snow White and the 7 tickets sold. I thought that was pretty good.
That is pretty good.
And then, I mean, she was all anti-Trump. I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, us leaning towards, this shit on Instagram, it was constant. And, after the weekend release, that's when you fly to New York and go visit Rachel Ziegler. It's too late, brother. So
Way too late. And in that post that you were reading, she talks about abortion and stuff and like how my daughter's rights. So it's like you're mad that your future daughter won't be able to murder your future grandchild. Okay.
Just make the Disney movie.
Yeah. We're not really looking for your opinion on politics.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our migrant section, which we have some stuff built up.
Okay.
First is some good news. It looks like the IRS is nearing a deal with ICE to share the addresses of suspected undocumented immigrants. So that's good.
Good. The left hand's talking to the right. And, I want to just take this opportunity to say we need mass deportations. And the mass deportations need to come with things like this. We know where everybody is.
Yeah.
You see that video of the student on the street, the pro-Palestinian student getting snatched up? Mm-hmm. Like, we know where she is. We know where all these guys are. They all have the ITIN numbers or someone's fake social security number. There's a paper trail on everybody. And we have the NSA, all these, the CIA, they'll listen to your phone calls or the January 6thers, but we're not going after the 20 million people yet. So I guess this is a step in the right direction, but I'm waiting to see when the mass deportations are coming, right?
And with every step in the right direction,
yeah,
you get multiple steps in the wrong direction. There's a Bill Malhusian tweet that sums up what ICE Boston is up to and what they're dealing with.
Yeah, CBS looked into ICE Boston claims that illegal aliens charged with child rape in Massachusetts are repeatedly being released from jail with ridiculously low bail. Here are some examples that he lists. A Guatemalan charged with 3 counts of aggravated child rape who was released on a $7,500 bail. ICE detainer was ignored. Another Guatemalan charged with aggravated child rape, victim below age 9, released on $7,500 bail. ICE detainer ignored once again. A Honduran charged with assault to rape and masked armed robbery, released on his own recognizance with $0 bail. Detainer ignored again. And Worcester County had 2 illegal alien inmates charged with child rape who both received $500 bails.
That's the kind of bail you get for like a bar fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you hit a bottle on some guy's head and it's like $7,500. Come on.
Yeah. For literal RAPE.
And these are repeat offenders, 3 counts.
And they're illegal.
And this guy threw an armed robbery on top of the rape.
It's $0 bail. You'll come back for your court hearing, right?
We don't turn anybody over to ICE. Boston is for everyone, the mayor, Michelle Wu, says, right?
Yeah, you showed us.
So
there's
work to do. That's the point of this. It's like ICE, we're federal. We need to go into these cities. There was a lot of tough talk about going into these cities and stuff. And I think we need to execute on that. Homan, it's early, so you don't want to be negative. But what do you think? I mean, it
needs be more.
It needs to be more, and it's not that hard. We need to go way harder. And I feel like the optimist in me is like, okay, we're cutting off some of these tools that they have, these mechanisms that kind of keep them safe. Like they've talked about going after sanctuary cities. Maybe we need to make a few moves on the chessboard before going in. And that's, I guess, the optimist case. But
optimistic, but not happy and slightly disappointed. For sure. And then also, Tom Homan, go arrest Michelle Wu, the Boston mayor.
We need an example. Someone's got to be made an example.
That's a perfect person to set an example with for getting the bail for those people. Mm-hmm. Go arrest her and see what Alex Frey and all the other ones start doing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the UK. We're still in our migrant section.
Migrant section's dark. This is about children mostly.
Yeah, and this guy, I don't know, he's from some Middle Eastern country.
Pakistan.
His name's Mohammed. He was picked up on a sting trying to meet with a 13-year-old British girl, and this is his excuse for why he was doing it.
Couldn't control myself.
You couldn't control yourself? Right, okay. What was it that you couldn't control?
My soul.
Yeah, but what about yourself?
Overwhelming.
Yeah, but what was overwhelming? What about this child was overwhelming? What about this child was so strong that you couldn't control it?
Too attractive.
She was too attractive. Okay.
He's very honest.
He's like got a 70 IQ, so I think he can't lie. I don't think he can go abstract and be like, oh, I shouldn't tell these guys exactly what I'm thinking.
It's like you're talking to I don't even know, a different species.
A golden retriever. You're talking to a golden retriever, if he could talk and couldn't control himself, and he's unneutered.
And then the same problem we have here, where they're letting people off or with small bails, it's happening in Austria, but it's actually worse because these are the full fines after being convicted.
Yeah.
These are like their sentences. Can you read that?
Yeah. Austrian migrant gang rape horror, girl 12, passed around like a trophy by more than a dozen boys during horrifying repeated sex attacks in Vienna. And it was a shockingly lenient sentence for the ringleader of this gang. 18-year-old Afghan asylum seeker was sentenced to 15 months probation and a fine of about $1,000 USD. He will stay out of prison.
So he doesn't even go to prison.
Doesn't go to prison, doesn't get deported. You know, you maybe think, oh, maybe just Afghanistan is where he's more suited to be. But no, they say probation, a fine, and, they don't even release the people's names like this. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder if they're going to do it again. And I don't know what this suicidal thing that the West is doing where we're just releasing certain crimes, like say you got in a big fight with someone about a very specific thing, like this guy hit my car and then I got in a fight with him. Or I could probably think of a better example, but these are the types of things that there's a reason we have a sex offender registry, because certain crimes are more likely to be repeated than others. And then these crimes that are more likely to be repeated are the ones that should have the highest bail. So there's no logic to it. It's literally just a mechanism of chaos, and it seems the entire West is doing it all at once, right?
Entire West, anti-West, anti-white. And then in that example, these are the same countries that are arresting people for social media posts.
Yeah,
when people
banning
are
ninja knives.
Yeah, banning ninja knives, and people online who go, oh, these migrants are out of hand. They take all these freebies. We need to get them deported. You get arrested for that.
Yeah.
But then when there is a gang rape ring, no one gets in trouble. You pay $1,000 and you're back on the street.
Probation.
Not good. All right, let's move on to the final page of housekeeping. Before we do, we have a very special message from Undertac. Guys, when it comes to gear that can handle anything, there's no better choice than Undertac. Designed for and tested by an elite forces team in Africa's harshest conditions, Undertac is made to perform when it matters most. Whether you're navigating through tough terrain or just tackling your day, their underwear, socks, and shirts keep you dry and comfortable and mission ready. Made from premium materials like Modal, which is 50% more moisture wicking than cotton, Undertac offers tactical performance that goes beyond the basics. From the ultra-comfortable boxer briefs to the American-made battle weave merino socks, you'll feel the difference. And don't forget their hoodies and EDC t-shirts, which are rugged enough for anything, but also comfortable enough for everyday activities. Go to undertac.com, that's undertac.com today, and use code Fleccas20 for 20% off site-wide. So whether you're gearing up for an adventure or just need some stuff for everyday life, Undertac has your back. And the best part, a portion of all profits goes to veteran groups fighting human trafficking. It's a full 360 win. Undertac.com is the website. Fleccas20 is the code for 20% off. Thank you to Undertac for sponsoring. Now let's get into housekeeping. All right, thank you to Undertac for sponsoring.
Thank you, Undertac.
We love Undertac. I'm constantly wearing Undertac underwear. It's my favorite. I'm not just saying that.
Yeah.
All right, we're on our final page of housekeeping. Make sure you guys tickle the post. Help us juice the algo. Leave a like, comment again, then start yapping about what you want to yap about. P.O. Box needs to be full. Notifications need to be on. Old episodes need to be watched.
Illegal criminal aliens need to be deported.
Yeah.
So do your part.
We got to add that.
I hate doing the downer section like that. That's just like full of the worst crimes you could imagine and then the worst injustice. And there's no action to be done afterwards. But we kind of have to as a show, right?
Like you have the worst crime ever, and that's a downer. And then they let him go.
It's called a double downer.
It's like the double downer. I was going to say double downer.
Okay.
All right. We're in final page of housekeeping at least, so it's a little more uplifting and exciting. And this...
I don't know. I've seen some of these assets.
Well, this first story is very uplifting. It looks like George Floyd is alive, according to this Russian news story.
جورج فلويد الذي حسب الكثير من وسائل الإعلام قد عاد للحياة وهو يقاتل مع القوات الروسية في كورسك. نشاهد كيف أن جورج فلويد المزعوم وهو يقاتل مع القوات الروسية في كورسك، ودرجة الشبه بينه وبين جورج فلويد صورته الحقيقية. كثيرون تحدثوا على
All right. Well,
George Floyd is alive and fighting in Ukraine, according to some Middle Eastern news broadcast.
yeah, it was a Middle Eastern, and he's fighting for Russia, apparently. And there's an AI image that sums it up, and that looks exactly like him.
Yeah, that AI image that someone said put George Floyd on the front lines in the Russian war, that does look exactly like him.
So that's very compelling. And then the example they showed his giant lips and giant nose. I mean, that's got to be him, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's one of one shit.
No one else looks like that. And then there's actually a funny situation. There's a college baseball player whose name is George Floyd, and now he goes by George Derek Floyd.
Yeah. Smart.
They kind of pigeonholed him there. Now you have to add Derek now, and Derek's not the best name to add.
I know.
George Derek Floyd, that's not a real name, but that was a recent adjustment from him, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's a tough break, especially given that something happened when, you lived probably 16 years of your life completely fine, and then all of a sudden something tragic happens, right? It's one thing if you're named after someone famous or it comes later, but going half your life and then getting hijacked, that's tough.
And George Floyd's like a strong American name.
I know, George. Nobody's named George anymore.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our next story, the Ark of the Covenant. There has been a release. Well, the CIA docs were released a long time ago, but people have highlighted it, that apparently the Ark of the Covenant exists. Can you read that headline?
Oh, you want me to read it? This was the CIA's attempt to locate the Ark of the Covenant using remote viewers in 1988. The viewer they used claimed to have found it. It was being guarded underground by entities in the Middle East. You can read the full document here.
And that's a CIA document. And then if you open the example of the document itself on page 471, can you read that part in yellow?
Requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body, and the location of the buried Nephilim.
And Hillary Clinton was talking about these in her released emails from a long time ago. But remote viewing, resurrection chamber as well in CIA documents, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Remote viewing is like when you get into like a meditative state and then you astral project or you jump realms and you can go back in time. And the CIA had remote viewers go to Mars 1 million years ago, and they said that there were giants there.
All right.
And that's in the CIA documents, so it might not, not everyone's going to like this or think it's real, but there's something there. And then Trump at Mar-a-Lago has a Ark of the Covenant, what's it called? Replica.
Yeah.
But some people think it's the real one.
All right, you lost me a while back. I don't even know what's happening, to be honest.
But the key point from all that is the Ark of the Covenant is not missing, it's hidden.
Okay.
And it's hidden by certain people that we blame for everything.
Okay.
The migrants.
Oh, my God.
I'm just kidding. It's the other group that we blame for everything.
All right.
But very interesting stuff. All right, let's pick it up.
You can't say covenant, can you?
I don't know why I'm having a hard time with covenant.
Okay, you got
Covenant.
it there. Yeah, you got it there.
Covenant. There's no M.
All right.
Covenant.
All right. I don't want to drag on too long. I don't even know what's happening in that section, to be honest. So,
well, that's why I put it in. Jasmine Crockett, she had some things to say a few days ago about Greg Abbott.
Because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
All right, Governor Hot Wheels. I'm not mad about this.
Yeah.
I think that's something Trump would say about if Governor Hot Wheels was on the other side.
Yeah, I'm more upset about the fake, sassy black woman routine that she's doing, where we've shown the video before of her speaking normally and trying to be eloquent. And now it's hot in these streets, ass, honey.
Mm-hmm.
You never talked like that before. You're fake. Governor Hot Wheels, B+.
Yeah, Governor Hot Wheels isn't even that good of a bit, but it's a bit, and I respect bits.
Yeah.
I always respect a bit. And Trump would say something like that, and we wouldn't care. Okay. So we can't get upset and clutch our pearls and have some moral high ground. Who cares?
Yeah, I agree.
See, that's the right take.
Okay.
I shoot it straight. All right, next we have a Steak and Shake update. Steak and Shake swapped out their fryer oil for tallow, which is a good start, but people started discovering that there's a lot of weird ingredients in their food still, and then Some of the tallow is like a blend of oils, so that's a problem too. So they tweeted this. Can you give that a read?
They said, "We need your help, folks. What other quality changes do you want to see?" Basically asking after they did the beef tallow and the grade A Wisconsin butter.
So that's good, but they're in a tough spot because if they say they're clean and then you do some research and you find all these other canola oils and all these weird bread blend stuff, then all the clean eating people are going to go, oh, Steak and Shake's lying. Don't actually go there. It's not actually clean. And then that is like a death curse.
Yeah.
You can't really recover from that. But the easy switches would be tallow only, tallow, salt, and fries as your ingredients for French fries, sourdough buns with no canola oil or weird stuff, no vaccines or antibiotics in the grass-fed meat, and then clean ketchup and mayo.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty easy. It's not a ton of ingredients. You don't need a list this big for what's in your French fries.
Pretend it's 1960.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And then don't use lard, right? Or whatever, Crisco type shit. Don't
Yeah.
fall for any Crisco.
But there are still people lying about cooking oils and what's good for you and what's bad for you. Neil, a show watcher, he sent me this. This is what's being advertised for parenting tips. And the best oils, it says, is what? Canola oil?
Yeah. Canola oil, safflower oil, sesame oil, sunflower, and corn oil are all.
So that's all obviously bad. And then at the bottom, the stuff they say is the worst. They say what? Beef tallow,
coconut oil, butter.
And that's all the
bacon
best.
grease,
So
beef tallow. Yeah.
They got it fully backwards.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap up this section. This clip I thought was very interesting. This person has a water trough, I think, for animals, and it's always getting like stuff in it, like
algae, debris type shit.
Algae and debris. And then she adds a copper wire, and look what happens.
All right, so I'm down here with my chickens. I saw a video that says if you put a copper rod in your watering trough that all this algae will die and just go away, which is so nice because we fill this up for the duck and it is just disgusting in like 24 hours, especially with this heat. So let's see if it works. But this is just thick green algae on
So we're going to
every
fast
side.
forward to the end, and look how clear it is at the end.
How clear it is. So 100% putting a little tiny copper in your feeding troughs is definitely changing something to make it work. It's amazing, so do it.
Very cool. There you have it.
Yeah.
It's good for gardening, too. If you have copper wires in your garden, it keeps bugs away, and it also makes your crops grow bigger.
Do you know the mechanics of it? Is there some sort of thing?
There's some sort of scientific thing.
Okay, you don't know the...
I don't know the mechanics of it.
You don't know
but
the mechanics
there is
of
a
it.
scientific thing.
Of course, of course.
All right, the final message in our final page of housekeeping, the message and lesson of the day. You can fuck up big time letting someone know you have a printer.
I get that.
Everyone, oh, how many times? Oh, you still have a printer, right? And I just say no, I lie.
Yeah.
And I don't even fully know how to use my printer, so it's basically true.
Okay.
All right, well, that's the end of housekeeping. We're now moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week. Diets are racist now.
Same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower, even when we're following the diet than our white women counterparts. It's literally that the racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same.
Okay, then just find one that does. Or if it's harder, then just take longer to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not agreeing with any of the things she says, but a lot of people nodding their heads in the audience. But so what, right? Let's say everything is true. The whole thing. You're right. Yeah, white women, they lose weight easier. Okay, so work harder. Are you going to be this forever?
Yeah,
You're just going to be the fat lady yapping? And then what? What's the goal? Oh, I'm raising awareness. Okay, you got to get on the treadmill, though, tomorrow.
I'm going to be the governor of Georgia.
Yeah, I want to start an NGO that gets $2 billion from Joe Biden's administration. But yeah, I don't know what this is. This type of content or attention getting is like, feel bad for us. It's harder for us. It's like misery porn or something.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same energy as like the racism debate where like, 100 years ago, we couldn't get a bank loan and that's why we're struggling now. When there's like people from China who were like slaves 6 months ago.
Oh, garment factory, very hard.
and they get here and they're like, oh, this is so much better. And they just work hard and it's not perfect, but Yeah, 6 months ago, I was a slave.
Yeah.
You know?
I work restaurant, son go college.
Yeah.
He get better life.
Yeah, exactly. So you get a shot at it.
There's a victimhood thing that they're yearning to be victims. And it's like, oh, this lady found reasons why she's fatter than white women. I'm shocked.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a little heavier than average. I'll speak for myself. I won't even bring you into it. I don't make excuses. Yeah, I like to pig a little.
I know what I eat.
I know what goes on late at night. I like to pig a little.
I like to pig a little.
Chocolate
too.
babka cake from Trader Joe's. Whole
Yeah.
thing. One sitting. This week. Me.
Exactly. And it's interesting that we're still getting like representation conversations, minority representations at an all-time high.
Yeah.
This next clip is from the Mayo University Hospital in Ireland. And look at the pictures on the walls.
So here's some grooming. This is Mayo Hospital. Look at that, yeah.
Just pictures of Africans.
In Ireland, and the name is Mayo.
They don't like Mayo.
It's in the name.
Yeah. Dude, and yeah, what did they get? The African sad bundle? And
Yeah.
they're like, let's decorate the whole hallway. African sad bundle. We're Irish.
Irish history, I guess. All right, next we have a clip from iShow Speed. He went to Korea and got very excited about something.
Fried chicken? KFC! KFC! KFC!
Shit.
Shit?
Calm down, okay? Calm down.
Okay.
Okay?
KFC!
That's interesting, because I was told that black people getting excited about fried chicken was a racist trope.
Well, I didn't know you were going to go that angle, but no, they like fried chicken. And I like fried chicken. They just like it more.
They do like it more. He reminds me of that guy from the Fifth Element?
Yeah, Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
The loud, theatrical guy who's always dancing and wearing cheetah print.
Yeah, he's always going crazy and annoying people. And iShow Speed, like, his energy is that, like, he gets off from annoying people.
Yeah, I guess. He listened. He listened to the Korean man when he said to calm down.
He was still acting out.
Yeah, come on. He's what some of the subway signs are for.
Yeah.
In Korea. But I like that the guy, this Korean guy, he doesn't know him. He's making a scene and he goes, shh, no, we don't do that here. Not here.
We have standards.
And he's not representing anybody. He's just one guy, but he knows what's right and wrong.
And apparently the Koreans are a little more openly racist than other places.
Everywhere is more openly racist than America.
Very true.
Right? Especially Asian countries.
Exactly. All right, let's get to our next piece here. We're going to the UK for a Pride festival. Here's everyone enjoying themselves.
Large twink gathering.
Large twink gathering.
All white. That's what the white men in the UK are up to, I guess.
Yeah, that's what the military-age men in the UK are up to. Those are the military-age men that probably should have opposed the corruption and the flooding of their borders with third worlders. Can we get some more Muslims in there, please?
Let's get
this figured out.
Let's get some Mohammeds in here. Clean this up. Yeah, but what were the takeaways from
this? The takeaways, unfortunately, are with all the Muslims and all the gays, there's going to be a lot of grooming.
Yeah.
No matter what, there's grooming happening in the UK. And also another takeaway is all the Muslims and all the gays, the bad guys are happy that they're erasing traditional UK heritage.
Yeah, and you know what? I was thinking about this before the show where, you see these large gay groups, they're doing a parade and it kind of annoys you and you're like, ugh, so that's embarrassing, right? And then you see the same thing for what was the recent Muslim holiday that they had?
Ramadan?
Yeah, was it Ramadan where they fast and then it turns out they don't even fast? They're in Times Square and stuff. And then you kind of go, normal people don't have anything. But then you go to a football game or something and then that's where the normal people are. They're doing regular everyday activities and they don't need to get together.
They're distracted by the breads and circuses.
Well, that's the negative angle to take it. But I'm saying we're not outnumbered as much as we think we are from these homosexual and Islamic displays.
That's a good point.
But, someone's got to wake up soon. We've done the wake up, it's time to wake up bit before, but we're really getting close to the permanent sleep status if we don't.
Very true.
And different countries are on different timelines. Ireland, you need to wake up ASAP. America, we're a little sleepy. We've woken up. Trump winning the election was a wake up, but we do need the mass deportation.
I'm surprised the Irish are asleep. They're light sleepers.
They're light sleepers and they're fighters too. And that's why it's even more nefarious, is because it's being dumped in by politicians on their head, and the local people actually will fight. You see the grandmas yelling about it. You know? So
exactly. All right. Let's move on. Let's not get too down or too depressed. We're still in cringe. Let's get to our trans kidnapping section.
Yeah. Let's not get too down or too depressed about parental rights in America. There's been a trans kidnapping.
Yeah.
This reporting was from the Daily Wire. They said LGBT activist, teacher, trans husband, house minor teen girl in Colorado against mom's wishes. So this is a math teacher in Colorado, a woman who was married to a man. He went trans. They're all big activists, and they're now housing a 17-year-old. I'm going to read from the article a little bit. The 17-year-old girl has identified as a boy since the fall and now uses a unisex name. That's probably usually the first step. She has been diagnosed with autism, ADHD, an eating disorder, depression, and anxiety, according to medical records provided by her mother. At school, the teen was seeing a counselor without her mother's knowledge, who advised the girl to terminate parental notification and encouraged her to participate in LGBT support groups, her mother said. Smotherman stepped in. That's the name of the teacher. Smotherman stepped in and took advantage of my kid, Stein, the mom, told the Daily Wire. She's just inserted herself into my family, and I still can't get her out. I just can't stress enough how floored I am that this woman has gotten away with what she has, and that there's nothing that I can do to make it right or hold her accountable. And basically the story goes, on November 2nd, the teen ran away from home after her mother told her they were moving to Denver to be near family and to put some distance between the teen and local influences.
Smart.
Smotherman.
It's
a little too on the nose. Smotherman has access to your child and is smothering her. And so the kid basically ran away after the mom was like, geez, it's a little late. Mm-hmm. You're going crazy. I want to get you away from this. And here's a post from Joanne Smotherman on Facebook. She said, "Hello, friends. I need your assistance again. Some months ago, we raised the needed funds to provide a lawyer to a young trans man." That's the daughter. The lawyer has successfully protected this young man from his abusers. However, blah, blah, blah. And they go on to raise money again. So you get the trans people get you in their house and are talking about how you're the abusers, which is like a caring, loving mother. Right? And so this all culminated in a police visit when the mom said, hey, my daughter is holed up in this house with a trans man and the teacher wife. And then here's a screenshot from the body cam footage. There's the daughter. There's Mrs. Smotherman. And basically the police, here's another screenshot. There's the trans woman goes by Vivian. Vivian now. So there's another screenshot from the body cam footage. And basically the police said we can't do anything. The daughter is close enough to 18. We're not going to remove her from this trans little commune thing.
Basically sided with the kidnappers.
Basically. Well, kidnappers is, facetious or whatever you want to call, hyperbole rather. But we'll show you a picture of the trans man here.
And let's see what Sisyphus said.
He said, this has just taken your teenage daughter into his home and won't let you see her. The police don't see it as a police matter.
So there's like a canary in the coal mine situation here. Like obviously they've been stripping away parents' rights quietly in the background for years all over the country.
Yeah.
And then you get in a situation like this where you call the cops and say, hey, my under 18 child is in this house with the trans people. Can you get them out for me? And you kind of realize how much of the parents' rights have been stripped away.
Yeah.
And they go, we're going to let them keep going.
And it's dark, and I can't imagine this is okay. I don't know what law they're kind of leaning on that says, a 17-year-old can disobey the parents and just go live with these creeps. Casa Bonita, they're outside Casa Bonita. This is, hey, we saw you from across the school, and we notice you're autistic and have ADHD. Would you like to come live with us? That's the vibe here.
Come live with a likely predator, allegedly.
Yes, you do have to say allegedly right there because... that's slander. But yeah, the gist of this, I guess, the lesson for parents is like, it snowballs. And if you have a kid who's leaning towards any of these things, you really have to nip it in the bud and send them to one of those outdoor camps in Utah run by the Mormons pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because it can snowball out, and all of a sudden they're living with trans people and they're close enough to 18 where you'll never see your daughter again. She's your son now.
There's something that happens where if you put your kid outside in the sun for a lot of the day, the sunlight will like help their programming, their natural DNA programming.
Maybe it resets the hormones.
And it helps with the hormones, and your kid's chances of turning into trans go down probably by like 90-something% if your kid is outside in the sun a lot.
Inside on the computer, danger zone.
Yeah,
that's where the groomers get you. They reach out from the
blue
computer.
light, the blue light, and then they get through the blue light. Yeah. All right, our last clip of Cringe. We're going to go fast through it because there's not many points to be made. I thought it was just funny.
It says POV trying to film content in the local gym, and this happens. It's a weak woman doing curls with 20 pounds. And her ass out.
And she gets annoyed because she's trying to film content. But the content is her curling 20 pounds for like 10 reps, and it's not even hard.
Not even excellent form. Her ass is out, and this guy's doing, what, hamstring curls on the machine intended for hamstring curls?
Yeah, he's exactly.
Which her phone is leaned up against.
She propped her phone on a machine she wasn't using to film her in her underwear doing unimpressive bicep curls. And she says that she's frustrated because she's trying to film content. Like, anyone who's watching your content just wants to see your butt in the gym.
Pretty simple.
No one's learning from your form. No one's like, ooh, 20-pound dumbbell. That was 15 pounds last week. You're getting stronger.
Curls with a straight bar? Whoa, I didn't know you could do that. Let me take notes. I'm adding this to my program.
And it's more like girl in her underwear on the computer. I'm a boomer. This is sick.
Volleyball shorts right in front of my face. 1080p? Great.
And there's that guy who's just trying to do his workout, and he's wearing like a polo to the gym.
Yeah, he'll probably see himself later on Instagram.
You know, he just let him work out. That's all he wants to do. All right, well, we're moving on. We're getting into Urban Decay. Don't get too down or too depressed. It's going to get a little worse. Our first clip from Urban Decay comes from a car show meetup type place, an urban car show meetup. And look what happens. Pause it real quick. So he bumped him. I'm assuming this is the part where they're going to exchange insurance information.
State Farm, can I get a picture of your license just so I don't forget?
What's your phone number, man? All right. No, instead he passes off his gun. And it's fight time.
Time to square up. What's your deductible? And another fight pops up out of nowhere, multiple fights.
Other people start fighting.
All right.
All for nothing.
Yeah. What's the lesson here?
Yeah, you don't go to certain car shows.
Yeah, the ones where the guy's rims go out really far, those spiky rims, and when you have the giant 24-inch wheels on a car that can barely fit them, you stay away from those car shows.
Yeah.
You want to go to the classic, the muscle car shows. They exchange insurance info there.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone's fully insured.
And it wasn't even that big of a deal. Like, the car got bumped. It was the spare tire. It probably looked fine.
Yeah, it was maybe $500.
And you could just settle it, no big deal. But now it's a fight, and it's on site. And it's like, you guys are going to go to jail for something like this for nothing?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are fighting. Oh, did a migrant get let off for child abuse? No, someone bumped my stupid car.
No, my rim is a little off center now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to our next story. It's going to get worse again. Bride-to-be knocked out, put in hospital by random brute while celebrating her bachelorette party in Dallas weeks before the wedding.
So the euphemism guy was on duty when this was published.
Random brute.
March 27th, random brute. It's, I'll give you a little preview. It was a black man and a white woman, but the race is not mentioned here. So here's the video.
It's just shocking. It's just hard to believe. It just feels like a lot of my experiences were taken away from me.
Canada was hit so hard she was knocked unconscious and face planted into the pavement. She broke her nose, 3 teeth, and needed 8 stitches. This dashcam video from an Uber driver captured the aftermath. And it also captured the moment her bridesmaid Kelly tried to push the suspect away before he punched her too.
It's just so traumatic.
Kelly has started a fundraiser to help Canada with all the money she now owes.
Just the hospital bill, the ambulance bill, trying to get her teeth fixed in time for the wedding.
That wedding, by the way, is in 4 weeks.
Very sad. And it's another, they call it random. They keep saying random act of violence, and it's random because it was impulsive and there's nothing that led up to it.
Yeah, it was described as a sucker punch, and this was at 2 a.m., I think in East Dallas, and you saw like the Uber, it was like one of those, everyone's piling out of the clubs, and, it's just like an active street.
Yeah.
Randomly sucker punched, and then he tried to swing on the other bridesmaid too.
And who did it wasn't random. We all know who plays the knockout game against girls.
There's white girls too.
Yeah, but it was random in that it was just impulsive and could have been anybody, I guess.
So, lessons here, 2 a.m., nothing good. We always had a football coach who used to say nothing good happens after 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. These bachelorette parties and stuff like that, obviously you're going to go out in downtown, and certain cities are more popular than others, but I would avoid certain areas, and you know what kind of areas those are. I think people are, remember we showed the Marines versus some people in Austin, and it was like, what was that, 8th Street in Austin or whatever?
Yeah.
Where it's just like people pissing, drunk fights. I think the party zones in America are getting more lowbrow, and a worse clientele is coming to those areas.
Yeah, it seems more fighty lately.
I think you have to be picking and choosing your locations.
And I'm like, then you can zoom out, and it's like, is it even worth like getting drunk and then being drunk at 1 a.m. in the city somewhere?
Expensive Uber, 35 minutes back to your Airbnb. It's like, I don't know, man.
Maybe we don't drink that much anymore.
And if you're gonna drink that much, just make sure you do it in a nice area. Pay the premium. I mean, this girl's gonna pay $15,000 to get dental reconstruction and a hospital bill before her wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And, you could have avoided that if you paid and went to the $20 drinks. They seemed expensive at the time, but when you got that $10K dental bill, that's a bargain.
That's a bargain.
Right.
All right, our next clip, the girl tries to pepper spray somebody and ends up getting beat up.
What the fuck?
Oh,
She sprays herself with some of the backlash.
Did you just miss yourself? What the fuck? No.
We're going to fast forward to where the fight happens. A few seconds later, now it's on.
Look at her yelling.
HOA is not going to be happy about that. It's a little loud in the neighborhood after 10 p.m., guys. It's quiet after 10 p.m. It's interesting, too. We've maybe made this point before. Girls don't have the knockout power.
So it's a real, like, the fight just keeps going until someone's tired.
And it just keeps going. There's just a million punches, and it never gets resolved. That's why that show, what is it, Slap Fight, Dana White's Slap Fight or whatever.
Yeah.
When it's the girls, they just keep slapping back and forth, and no one ever gets knocked out.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I never watched the girls.
I've seen the girls, and their faces just get fucked up. There's nowhere near as many girl knockouts as there are guy knockouts.
Okay.
Guy knockouts is pretty much every time almost.
Yeah.
Or every fight, there's a knockout eventually.
Power slap.
Power slap.
Good to know.
Good to know. All right, let's not speed through, but let's, with some pace, go through our last few clips, the food desert expansion section. Here we have a guy, and it's actually, there's a funny reveal here. He's talking about the locked up cereal and ramen noodles.
Tell me if this fucking shit makes sense. They locking up Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes. They rocking up the fucking Pop-Tarts, the s'mores joints. These are busting in the microwave. Like, now I gotta call the employee to give me some fucking Pop-Tarts. Like, yeah, man, call you some Pop-Tarts. Then they got they locking up mayo. What is y'all stealing mayo for in the first?
He's Chinese talking like that?
The whole time he was Chinese. He's allowed to say it.
Or Asian.
He's allowed to say it.
Yeah.
He says it.
All right, let's keep going, though.
Man, this Philly for you. Come on.
I'm going to fast forward here because he reveals that the ramen noodles.
Philly just can't have nice.
Like 80 cents.
So every time I think there's a new rock bottom, we go lower. This is in Philadelphia. The cheapest menu item that there is, basically in the grocery store, cup noodles are being locked up. Wow. So new
Pretty
low.
good. And then when they don't lock them up, they'd use other techniques like this one where they just have a poster of what the food looks like if it was a normal country.
They got pictures of the stuff because everybody steal everything.
It's like North Korea.
It is. And that costs money too. You know, locking stuff up, obviously it costs money to put a lock on, but like printing these out and hey, I have a very specific, it needs to be in this order as if it really were on the grocery store, on the floor. And you're printing this out, what? So you go up to the front and just tell them?
And it probably costs more money too because you have to go up to the front and say, hey, can I get a 6-pack of Gatorade and some Pop-Tarts and some cup of noodles? And then you have to send some guy to go shopping for you. You added like a whole new job of like personal shoppers.
I didn't even think shopping was a privilege. And now in the hood, it turns out it is, right?
And then this is the reason why you have people like this woman here with steaks in their bonnet.
I'm right here down at Walmart. Come around. Come around. Yeah.
Just a head thing full of food.
Dude. And this is why, you know, how they get very sensitive about people touching their hair and stuff like that? I think we figured out why. It's a cover.
They're stealing stuff.
Yeah, there's steaks in the bonnet.
So whenever you see a black person, you can say, hey, what's up with your hair? You stealing
Is
something?
there anything in your hair? Let me pat you down. Let me touch your hair. It's not like, oh, I want to feel the texture. It's, are there steaks in the bonnet? I just realized that. That's
Are you
crazy.
stealing meat?
Yeah.
All right, well, don't get too down or too depressed. Moving on to Uplifting Gold, and we actually have some uplifting stuff today. Well, we have some uplifting stuff.
All right.
First is a magical moment in Europe. Coming up off the escalator.
I don't want to no bother.
You have some angry migrant getting, detained and then probably released right after.
In front of a beautiful Gothic church.
That's like it. Yeah. That's like the West.
This is what we could have had and what we have.
That sums up the problem with the West in 5 seconds.
So, hey, if I put my hand on the bottom half of the screen, Uplifting Gold. Top of the screen, Urban Decay. Uplifting Gold, Urban Decay.
I see it.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right.
All right, next we have some advice for how to do a piss workout. Oh, it's Friday.
You know what, dude? There's a certain level of squalor that you can't pretend. Like if someone wanted to do like, oh, I live in squalor content and they just let one room of their house go, or like they put dirt and kind of like did props. This type of wall right here, you see with this outlet with no protector and like that genuine grime. This guy really is pissing in jugs and doing piss workouts.
That's very true, and that's the takeaway. This is
yellow
not,
streak.
Yeah, that's not a social media bit.
This is really how he lives. So I guess the Uplifting Gold is being thankful for what you have and where you were raised and your home environment. Be thankful that you never even thought to piss into a jug and use it as weights. Be thankful that your mom didn't open 6 credit cards in your name and take out a small business administration loan for you.
So true.
So I think we're doing a bright side Uplifting Gold. We're looking at the bright side.
That's why we got you.
All right.
In Henchman Maxing 2, we used my bedroom for one of the scenes, and I had to throw clothes all over the floor. I had to throw some pizza boxes on the ground to fake living in squalor.
Okay. Sure,
So,
revisionist history.
But I couldn't do that. That guy really has piss jugs and really lives in that room.
Yeah, that grime.
That's real grime. All right, next, there's a sidecar dirt bike sport I didn't know existed. you know about this?
No, but I'm noticing a technique that he uses. That's like sailing, like when you lean one way or the other.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then you got to trust the guy, and it's you and your buddy doing dirt bike sidecar shit. That's uplifting.
Yeah, it's uplifting. They didn't really need to invent that sport, though.
What sports do we need to invent?
I don't know.
We do dumber shit than that.
I saw the other day they race tractor trailer truck fronts.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of stupid. Like, you can't even go that fast. You can't take turns. Why don't you just do Porsches or little cars?
All right. So the first thing that you have that's actually uplifting gold, you're taking the negative side on. I'm taking the bright side on everything, and you're negative on the one uplifting gold thing.
It's a balance.
Okay.
All right. This next clip is supposed to be uplifting, and we'll see if it actually is. This lady sends her 7-year-old in Chick-fil-A alone to order to build up his confidence.
I just read Anxious Generation, and at the end they have this challenge where they're like, we challenge you to like let your kid do something that without a parent, like go do something age appropriate on their own so it can build confidence for them. So all of my kids came up with an idea that they wanted to do that they could do alone. So Wells's idea is to go to Chick-fil-A and order some dinner. I gave him some money, and just we rehearsed like what to say, and like if anyone gives him a hard time to ask for the manager. Because Locke, when he was maybe 10, he went into
we're gonna fast forward to when he comes back.
Lady, mom's yapping, making
Mom's
it about
yapping
her.
too much. Here he comes with all the food.
Gosh, he did it. Hey.
I didn't have to ask the manager or anything.
Really?
He just gave it to me, yeah.
They just served you?
Yeah. And then, yeah.
You got your Happy Meal, and
he gave me some money back.
You got change?
I want to do that again.
Really?
Yeah, that is so fun.
Do you feel like that?
So that's nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we can open up a conversation here.
I think that's nice.
That's nice, but it's like sad that we've gotten to the point in this country that like that's a big deal.
Okay.
Like all the older people watching, you guys were probably doing whatever you wanted at that age and like coming home at dinner time, right?
Yeah.
Like, I even remember when I was a kid, I was doing stuff that was like independent and on my own. And it's like, all right, at 5 o'clock or at lunchtime, you got to come back. And I was just out and no one was worried. That lady like sent her kid into Chick-fil-A. She's in the car 20 feet away. Like, oh, is he okay? What's going to happen? Like,
yapping on social
times are
media.
different. If something happened, times are very different. Maybe it's the migrants.
That kid's pretty young, though. I mean, like, when do you start learning about money? I remember, didn't you have like a class when you were younger where you start learning about coins and making change and stuff?
Yeah,
like, you
yeah.
actually do have to learn that. I don't know how old that kid is. So I don't know. I think you're being too much like, when I was that age, I was walking uphill. I don't know how many times I was ordering at McDonald's alone when I was like 6 or 7. It all depends on what his age is, right?
It depends on what his age is. But our society has lost a lot of trust where something like that is a huge deal when back in the day it was probably normal or normal adjacent.
Yeah.
So that's bad. All right.
So uplifting gold. So that's bad.
Well, it's
Great,
uplifting because the
thanks.
kid's happy and he did it.
Did it, yeah.
So that's uplifting for him. And then the zoom out, not so uplifting part is that's a big deal. And it's just a kid went to Chick-fil-A for 2 seconds by
All right.
himself.
Hey, personally, I think this was a depressing episode in some ways. All the, right?
Yeah.
So I want to be uplifted, and our audience is craving an uplifting.
All right.
And you're being negative.
All right. Next uplifting clip, stupid animals.
You sure?
Yep.
They see a mirror.
There's a mirror, and then the animals look at themselves.
Leopard. There's copyrighted music, too, so whoever made this clip,
yeah,
they screwed us.
Added Bono to it.
There's a gorilla. Ooh, he goes
He's
crazy.
Stupid. You don't even get it. It's you.
The lion
That's
gets it.
you.
The lion gets it. Oh, he got scared.
Oh, who's this? It's you. They don't probably know what they look like.
All right.
They
moving
probably never
on.
even saw themselves.
I think that's the point of putting a mirror in the jungle. You're pissing me off.
They don't even know what they look like. All right, next there's a bird's foot. Look at the size of that.
You know what kind of bird this is?
Eagle.
Yeah. What's the biggest? Here's a pop quiz for you. What's the largest bird?
Condor.
Yeah. California condor. Is that true?
I don't know. Probably.
All right. Whatever.
Think I didn't know that?
Yeah. I thought you were too stupid.
Yeah. Well, not today.
All right.
That's a huge bird's foot.
Okay.
Next, we have a funny dog. This is uplifting. This is truly uplifting.
Owner's messing with his paw.
Hicks him.
He knows what to do.
That hurts. He knows, like, that's attacking.
Yeah, he knows it.
He knows that's an attack.
And he knows what's being annoying and what's not.
All right, our last clip of the whole show is someone shouting us out with their golden retrievers during the golden retriever section from Tuesday.
People got into Huskies. They lost some of their popularity. I still think golden retrievers are the best breed. And that's up there. They're friendly.
Isn't that nice?
And look at how nice they are. They're great.
They just sit and watch the show.
Yeah.
All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Another Fleccas Talks in the books.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleccasTalks.com for a 30-minute bonus land dropping right now. So if you're still watching and you want more show or you want something to do over the weekend,
we're going to be more positive in bonus land.
We have a great bonus land.
I'm going to make sure.
Rat Boy's going to make sure.
I'm on Morale Police right now.
Morale Police. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in bonus land. And if not, we're disappointed, but we'll see you on Tuesday.
هو يقاتل مع القوات الروسية في كورسك. نشاهد كيف أن جورج فلويد